Hello, welcome back. I am Cronus Raven, again with StBalla26, doing another cast for you. We found a game that's about 2 minutes in, so we're going to be quicker in getting to it this time. Panda, how are you doing?
Good. Always good. Let's get into the game.
Alright, absolutely. So, I will call out anything that goes on crazy while we're playing, but for the time being, I'm just going to introduce our blue team. In the top lane, we have Big D, SOGS, all those inappropriate names. Actually, going into the top, and Ignite goes down, and Sarenu on the Jace kills. So well played by him. We do have a mob of midgets in the jungle on Riven. A mid E to lead. Another kill bot lane. C Sunny takes out Ziggs. Ziggs support, that's... Oh, and the double kill, that's going to be brutal.
Killing mechanics.
Yep. Alright, so Panda, who do we have on the red team?
Alright, we got StBalla26 playing an Olaf jungle. We got Banana Clip playing Vayne. We have a support Ziggs, Evie Fredericks running Clarity. And then we got Ari mid, played by Mazur, and Sarenu by Jace in the top lane.
Alright, well, as we've already seen, a lot of kills to start this game off. 3 that I missed because I was introducing people, so pro caster is pro. But moving past that, we're hopping into this game. One of the things interesting I see right away is actually that Olaf started out with a Doran's Blade in the jungle and has now gone back and picked up the Ancient Coin. So that's one of the new items intended for supports.
That's an odd pickup, and I'll tell you why. Because the passive is being near a minion death without getting the killing blow gives you extra gold. That's not going to happen a lot in the jungle.
Well, the rationale I see behind it is Olaf says, you know what, we're going to reach a point in the game where I'm going to be in lane or close by my carry, by my team, and I'm going to be letting my farmers take the farm, and I want to pick up a little bit of gold off it anyway. I do agree with you. I think that's too early of a pickup though. Meanwhile, mid lane we do have Monsieur going in on fun mechanics, but a mob of midgets comes in and forces a flash out. Ignite goes down to the mob of midgets, and Olaf's here. He's going to turn this around, probably trade 1 for 1. Yep, we do have the Ari going down and the Riven. So I tend to prefer my jungler to die rather than my mid laner. Do you agree with me on that, Panda, in this situation?
Oh, absolutely. It could have been bad if Nidalee had ended up with double buffs, but thankfully the double buffs got transferred over to Olaf, so it's not an issue.
Meanwhile, top lane, we do have some fight between SOJS and Jace. And
they're really scrapping in top lane.
Yeah, I mean, this favors Jace just because he has so many more abilities than Kayle does.
Absolutely. Pre-6, Jace wins almost all matchups, simply because he has 6 abilities to the opponents.
I mean, once Kayle hits 6, and I think once Kayle gets items, Kayle should shred through Jace in those 1v1s. Jace's Thunderous Blow, his knockback, is going to be really crucial to get Kayle away from him once Kayle pops that intervention. But for the time being, Jace should absolutely crush that lane, and actually we have Skylight220 coming in to put some pressure in this top lane, and jungle support is going to need to come up top for Kayle, or Kale's going to have to get the heck out of dodge.
And this is where something like the Ancient Coin actually pays out to his favor, if he's helping a lane without taking any of the
Meanwhile, CC Sunny gets stunned in by Banana Clip. And
that's a great Vayne condemn.
And actually, that's really good for Banana Clip to try and get back into the game after, giving up that double kill to Caitlyn in bot lane.
Absolutely. As a Vayne main, playing against Caitlyn is never fun, and playing against a Caitlyn 2 comes ahead of you is exponentially less fun. So that kill is going to do a lot for that bot lane.
What do you think of this Ziggs support? I know you were mentioning earlier to me that St. Vicious was saying he thought that non-traditional supports who didn't have their AP ratios changed to focus on crowd control now would be stronger, and the Ziggs is someone who we never see as a support. He only has 2 very minor crowd control abilities. What are your thoughts on that, especially with a Vayne, who normally can carry pretty hard anyways?
It's not standard, and I can't say I'm a huge fan of it, but I could see some ways in which it would be really good. And actually, Ziggs' Satchel, his W, allows for massive
meanwhile,
outplay.
Big D SOJS is going to be by Sarenu, but Mob of Midgets comes in. But again, Olaf is there countering the counter gank, and that's going to be a 1-0 trade and forcing Kayle out of lane, and Skylight's going to be able to push that tower. You were saying, though, about the Ziggs in support.
Absolutely. The Ziggs Satchel can knock people out of their gap closers, much like Thresh's play. So, if you time it correctly, you can knock Riven out of her jumps, You can knock Jace out of his hammer. There are definitely some ways in which Ziggs can be used to outplay the opponent. However, I would say other supports would probably fare better.
I think the only reason I do like Gredix's choice of Ziggs is that Hexplosive Minefield, if people run through it, they're going to be slowed down, and Vayne wants to kite away all day anyways. Actually, we do see Fun Mechanics go and takes the kill. Is he going to get out? Oh, Olaf's going to clean this kill up. That was not a worthwhile roam from Fun Mechanics, in my opinion. Trades a kill, but Ari's getting free from mid and feeds a kill to Olaf. But I do like the Hexplosive Minefield because it forces them to run through it, to be slowed down, to let Vayne kite out even more. If you throw it behind Kayle, or not behind Kayle, behind Caitlyn, Caitlyn does have issues kiting away as well.
Absolutely. Caitlyn has her one W, which again, actually, that's one thing I forgot. If Ziggs can use his W well, he can actually knock Kate out of her 90 caliber net, and that would render her useless in any escape situation.
Meanwhile, top lane, we just had Skylight go on Kayle top lane and actually do a lot of damage there and trade evenly. And anytime a jungler is trading evenly for a solo laner, your solo lane just isn't doing that good. In my opinion.
Kale's gonna have a tough time against this Jace. Already has his tier and brutalizer. He's going to be hurting.
And Kayle only has the Fiendish Codex, and I like that. It looks like it's going to be a Gnasher's Toothbrush, which I like. I think that's the appropriate way to start Kayle nowadays, especially in the top lane.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that though. We do see Clarity popped for Gredix down there on the Ziggs, making sure Vayne doesn't run out of any mana. In terms of items, we do have a BF Sword on Caitlyn to the Bilgewater Cutlass on Vayne. Does the BF Sword give enough damage for Caitlyn to outduel Vayne at this point, or is Vayne's hit just still too strong?
Vayne really can't duel a Caitlyn until you have Blade of the Ruined King. Unless the Caitlyn's very far ahead, in which case you still can't even duel them.
Good,
you see it find the jungle there.
Oh yeah, Mob of Midget's forced to flash, and actually we do have Jace. The Mob of Midget is super dead. Actually, we see that Skylight 220 has actually finished that support item into the Talisman of Ascension. And what he's done is actually, he's done that in place of a Spirit Stone. So he hasn't earned that much gold. If you look at it, he's only earned 40 gold total. But that said, he does have that active, so it's essentially the Shirelli is active. Meanwhile, Mitsuru...
It's a very nice charm.
And you do see Fun Mechanics does get out neatly, is very survivable, but Skylight's just going to dive this sucker. I don't know about this. They could be a double... Mitsuru does get out.
That's actually a good trade, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You have Nidalee missing out on all this experience and gold, and they got an assist on the kill. So that actually works out very favorably for Purple Team.
The one thing I'll say is that Riven did come into mid lane, forced Ahri out, so Ahri didn't get a huge amount of that, so it's really only the assist difference now. And Riven is one of those carry junglers who, if she gets fed, will just win games by herself. She is that strong of a character, in my opinion. And
you see Ahri staying. Riven may be looking to dive here if Ahri gets too close.
Mitsuru realizes she just can't stay around. Riven just too mobile, even for Ahri, in my opinion, at this low of health.
I actually think this is a big mistake on Ahri's part to have not backed as soon as Riven showed the lane.
Yeah.
Now she's going to back and lose map pressure and tower pressure because it's inevitable that she's going to have to back. She's at about 200, 300 health.
And we do see Nidalee has finished her Athene's and Holy Grail. Although she did pounce in on Olaf there, and I think that's pretty risky. If Olaf gets those that chain slowed down with the Undertow, even Nidalee's pounce might not be enough to get her out of it.
Absolutely, and I'd like to look at bot lane where they're about to dive.
And actually, we have a dive coming in from the back by a mob of midgets. They do take out the Ziggs, but Vayne is still at full health. But
you have Nidalee also too. Roaming.
And that spear finishes her off. Really nice rotation there. And they're probably going to be able to take the tower or maybe ping on Dragon.
That was an extremely well executed dive by Blue Team. They managed tower aggro well. They cleaned up very quickly.
We do have Ahri going back in. She's going to try and clean up on the support Nami. And meanwhile, you can just see how big that Olaf is, you know, at much lower health than the Riven trying to go in for the kill. Meanwhile, top lane, SOGS is just dead. Ignite Tick takes him, but Kale was dead no matter what there. So we do see both supports have gone with the Jeeper Cannon Harass item, so then but they both have it at the Frost Fang level now. Meanwhile,
I think that makes sense for both of them, since they're both pokey champions by nature.
Meanwhile, Fun Mechanics got absolutely shredded by that Iris combo, and that's just the Foxfire Chone's Orb of Deception. Meanwhile, top lane, that T1 tower is going to go down to Sarenu, and I hope to see this Jace start to roam now. He's really far ahead, he's going to be able to back, pick up a lot of items, and I want to see him use that to help out his other lanes.
Jace actually can really do two things with his advantage right now. He can split push, because split push Jace is actually surprisingly strong. He's such a strong tower pusher, and he has fantastic wave clear. Or again, like you mentioned, you can look to roam and cause team fights, where Jace's mobility from his gate and his poke is really great at sieging towers as a unit.
And he comes in, and look at how much damage, and actually the Ziggs bomb comes in to really zone out there, but you just saw how much damage that accelerated shock blast did to Needly there. And Sarenu's sitting on about 1.7k gold. He's going to go back.
You're seeing purple team rotate towards Dragon right now, actually.
I'm not sure if I like that. Olaf is running down.
Riven is closer, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kale is top lane, so I think this is fine. Oh, the spear almost took Dragon. And actually, it's Jace who takes that kill out.
Now let's see what blue team can get out of this.
Oh, the Peacemaker almost takes it. Really nice flash. I really like this aggressive play from C Sunny there. He's going to take down Ari. They're going to pick up Ziggs.
These two kills.
We do see Fun Mechanics going on Banana Clip, but unless they can get this...
you have Kale hammering on top tower right now. Top's going to go down off this.
We do see a flash away from Fun Mechanics trying to get away from Olaf. Anami's going to have to get this stun as soon as that Ragnarok comes out, and they do land it. And C Sunny...
The Caitlyn trap.
Oh, the Caitlyn threw a trap down too. Oh my goodness. Very nice play there. The thing is though, we do have a Deathfire Grasp and a Mana Mune come out on the side of red team. So those are two big core items for both solo laners.
Absolutely. Top tower is going down, and you actually see blue team steal away blue buff. That's going to be great on Nidalee. And in fact, if Kale can get blue buff, this might be able to help her in that matchup against Jace.
I'd be a little worried with that. I feel like Jace could almost kill that Kale even with it. I mean, she only has a Stinger plus...
but again, she's caught up in CS. She just took the tower, which they just made the changes, so you actually get more gold off pushing the tower.
Well, if you push it, the rest of your team only gets, I believe, 50 gold for the T1.
Right, but Kale got top tower, so she got the gold from pushing it.
Which is what, 250 now? Is that what it's at?
I think it's... I want to say it's 150 on the outer tower split up on the champions helping.
Gotcha. And she does finish the Nashor's Tooth. I would have really liked to see Kale finish her boots, whether she goes with Sork Shoes or Berserker's Greaves. Just because Jace is going to want to chase you down, and Kale does have the slight movement speed buff with her heal. But you're going to need more than that to run away from a Jace. And I think those second level boots would really, really help. Meanwhile, CC Sunny has taken red buff, and Vayne still has not finished her Blade of the Ruined King.
Absolutely, this Caitlyn is very scary right now. 5-1 and 2 with 112 CS.
And she's gone for the Bloodthirster build, so definitely looking to do more tower pushing. And Ari actually eats a spear mid lane, and she's down to 20% health. Again, Needly is just a stronger champion than Jace in terms of sieging, just due to how quickly you can throw out those spears. The cooldown is much lower than the accelerated shock blast.
Absolutely.
But I think Ziggs does counteract that decently well. Those bouncing bombs, while they're a lot easier to dodge and don't have as good of a range, it's still more harass that can come out, at least to clear, to clear the wave.
You also have two factors in the favor of Jace, in that the shock blast does AoE damage, and it's much harder to dodge because it is accelerated and moves at such a quick speed.
Yeah, it's just so fast. Nami decides to hit the tower once, and I'm not really sure why. Ari does eat that the Caitlyn ult, Ace in the Hole. Does about, what, 20% of her health? A lot of times we did see...
Wow, that nearly...
Flash in from Riven, she's popped the ulti, and Ari just goes
Kale
right
gets
down.
the kill, that's going to be big.
Yeah, that's really helpful for Kale. And meanwhile, we did see a tower go down as well, so the gold lead is actually 4k in the favor of blue team. They're starting to siege down now. Oh, and that spear. Either Ziggs or Jace was dead there. One of them was going to eat it.
Absolutely. And you're seeing Nidalee and Caitlyn absolutely control the pace of this game.
Oh, look at how much damage that spear did to Ziggs. That must have done 600 damage. And also, you have the Needly heal on Caitlyn. You know, so often in the past you saw like the Caitlyn Nunu lane to push towers. This sort of Needly Caitlyn lane is so strong in that regard, and Vayne needs a spear and just has to run away. Vayne can't go into that
just
fight
saw
at
Kate
half
try
health.
and make a play on Ziggs and actually pop his flash too.
Oh my goodness. And that was Caitlyn, you know, using her 90 caliber net aggressively to go in. And again, like, it's just, and you know, their entire team is just tanking the turret. Nami's healing.
They're gonna be able to take this turret.
No, CC Sunny's got to get out of there. Olaf sees his chance and dives in. Nice.
That is a great heal from blue teams, protecting their AD carry.
Well, and you saw, like, even the better thing was, you saw that ulti come out of Kale. That is on such a short cooldown, and actually, Kale's going to go back in. That's a little too aggressive.
With no ult, she's dead.
The ulti comes out. Oh, and AD carry, my hand slipped.
Oh, man.
That's really rough. If Jace was able to stay alive, and just those spears do so much damage. And this is a Needly with only a needlessly large rod. There isn't even like a death cap yet. You know, Needly's sitting on, you know, 1.6k gold. Everyone actually on blue team is loaded except for Caitlyn and Kale.
Needly will be able to finish her Abaddons when she chooses to go back if she would like to.
There's gonna be so much damage. This harass is just gonna shred apart red team.
One thing I would like to note is that you can see that mid tower regening because again they changed the inhibitor turrets to regain health over time. I believe it's at 3 health per 5.
Mm-hmm. So we do see that regeneration, but again the thing is like that doesn't really matter in my opinion because blue team's just going to slow siege anyways, and it's just gonna be a strangulation attempt on them now. You know, you see them splitting up. All the lanes are pushed well onto red side. They're all about the T2 level. And actually, you see CC Sunny catch out the Ziggs, and with the static shiv there, again, this is more of a bursty pushing Caitlyn, because you saw just how much damage that dealt to Ziggs there. I mean, I thought a Needly Sphere did a lot. I didn't expect a unheadshotted Caitlyn proc to take, you know, a third of his health. And Willie died.
Wow.
I mean, Kale's gonna die top, but who cares? They're gonna take this mid tower for it, I'm pretty confident. You know, Caitlyn just runs up and doesn't... I mean, she has to be careful. If Ari gets a good combo down...
Wow.
I think Ari could have finished there. I think Ari should have just gone aggressive instead of trying to run away like that. Olaf should be able to pick up this kill. Does Caitlyn have flash up? No, she doesn't. She burned it. But the net, really nice net. And Olaf is now out of his Ragnarok. But I think
he is overcommitted right now.
I don't think so. I think there is enough coming in from red team. You do see Banana Clip come from the side, get the stun down. Ziggs bomb coming in. But Ziggs bomb actually deals enough damage. Jace comes in, tries to clean up. Oh no! He used the Thunderous Blow on Needly rather than Caitlyn. I'm pretty confident it would have killed Caitlyn at the very least and traded away there. At the end of the day, that's a 2-for-1 after, you know, Caitlyn gets caught out. And actually, CC Sunny takes down Vayne. This is just a nightmare right now.
This Caitlyn is displaying very impressive mechanics.
We've seen, you pointed out, I've missed them. Caitlyn's had 2 really good traps to lock down this Olaf trying to catch her down. And meanwhile,
absolutely, they've been pivotal in both of the fights in the jungle. The first one saved a kill, I believe, onto Nidalee from Olaf diving right as his ulti wore off, and then Vayne stepped on the trap to tank a Nidalee spear.
Oh, jeez. That's just the worst. And meanwhile, you have Nidalee pushes down this top tower, and there's the surrender vote coming out. A 4-1 to surrender. I can't really say I blame red team for this. I mean, playing against a split push lineup, and especially with a Caitlyn that is this far ahead, now just finished Last Whisper. I mean, she killed Ziggs from 2/3 health. She probably could have killed him from almost 100% health now with that ace in the hole.
That's right. And unfortunately for Purple Team, they shut down Kale, but Kale is still effective even with no gold, simply because of her ult and the utility it brings.
Absolutely. And again, the focus, and right as we hopped into the game, we saw Caitlyn get that early double kill onto the Vayne and the Ziggs, and I think that really hurt it. And again, Ziggs is not really a support to punish Caitlyn. He doesn't have any hard CC that will let Vayne line up a condemn for a longer stun. I think when you either need a support who can sustain Vayne against the poke, or someone who lets Vayne get aggressive,
Absolutely.
and really try and kill off that Caitlyn. And Ziggs brought neither of them. You saw how much damage that bomb did later in the game, but I'd rather see a support. Like, if you want to go this sort of off support, someone like Annie or Morgana, I think who brings a lot more utility with their abilities in terms of CC, rather than just Ziggs' raw damage.
Undoubtedly, and the clarity certainly didn't mesh as well. Vayne is not a champion that tends to run out of mana.
I mean, I could see a Lucian Ziggs lane working very well. That clarity actually could help out because Lucian likes to go he likes to spam his abilities.
Absolutely, or even Ziggs, Corki, someone who can be aggressive early. Vayne can't really be aggressive, especially before level 6.
And against a Caitlyn, and to be fair, this Caitlyn played very well.
Absolutely. All credit to the Caitlyn.
Really punished the Vayne for the mistakes she made and just used the matchup very well in her advantage.
That's right.
So, Panda, thanks again for joining me. I've been Cronus Raven with
StBalla26.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.